Einen wunderschönen guten Tag und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Disco Elysium. So, ja, wir müssen immer noch Joyce Bericht erstatten. Ruby war die Organisatorin des Lynchmordes. Außerdem ist sie verschwunden. Aber die Hardy Boys werden ihren Aufenthaltsort nicht so leicht preisgeben. Du musst ein wenig Überzeugungsarbeit leisten. Hast du jeden Winkel des Whirling erkundet? Den Tatort genauestens unter die Lupe genommen? Klar ist hier richtig und eingehend verhört? Weil das könnte dabei helfen, die Hardys zu überzeugen. Ich glaube schon. Ich stelle fest, woher der Schuss kam. Ja, das ist das, was wir jetzt, glaube ich, als erstes machen würden. Ich würde, weil es auf dem Weg liegt, erstmal kurz gucken, was wir mit den Hardys für Gesprächsoptionen haben.
It's you again. What is it?
Okay, ich habe mit Klaas hier gesprochen. Jetzt muss ich mit Ruby reden.
Why?
Er lehnt sich zurück und beobachtet dich neugierig. Weil sie ihre wahre Anführerin ist. Ich werde ehrlich zu Ihnen sein. Sie ist das nächste Glied in der Kette, die mich zu Lillys Mörder führt. Ich habe sie in einem Laudanum-induzierten Delirium gesehen. Warum kann ich Laudanum induziert einfach so direkt lesen? Ohne mich zu viel... Okay, whatever. Der paranormale Instinkt flüsterte mir ihren Namen ins Ohr. Hören Sie, irgendwem muss ich es in die Schuhe schieben und ich habe mich für Sie entschieden. Weil ich sie als Mörderin des Opfers verdächtige, deshalb. Sie ist eine Verdächtige in einem weiteren Fall, den ich untersuche. Drogenschmuggel. Auch das. Aber einfach, weil sie ihre wahre Anführerin ist.
You're cuckoo, cop. I'm the only man responsible for this unit. Get with it or fuck off.
Unter seinem Lächeln verborgen blitzt Wut auf.
How many times must I tell you?
Yeah, fuck off!
Ich will ehrlich zu Ihnen sein. Sie ist das nächste Glied in der Kette, die mich zu Lillys Mörder führt.
Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this. Not on my watch, you're not. Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral
Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could fuck off now?
I think we'll keep sticking around, Titus. You'll be surprised at how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking.
Wir haben eine 92% Chance. Die Winde draußen gesehen, Aufführung inszeniert, Situation in der Tachtnacht rekonstruiert, antikes Gewehr gefunden, Klaas hier hat das Motiv genannt, Geheimweg gefunden, nachgewiesen, dass Ruby mit Drogen handelt. Und trotzdem gucke ich nochmal unsere Klamotten an. Dass wir immer so ewig warten, bis er sich hingesetzt hat und dann wieder aufsteht, das ist so ein bisschen nervig. Wir haben mit irgendwas mit dem Hemd haben wir plus Logik und ich glaube, das ist auch alles. Oder? Ich glaube mir... wir können auch unser Denkerkäppchen aufsetzen. Und damit sehen wir zwar unfassbar scheiße aus, aber damit müssten wir... Na, guck mal, und wir könnten die Jacke noch anziehen. Okay, wir sehen aus wie der letzte Vollpfosten, aber egal.
It's you again. What is it?
Okay, das müssten jetzt 97% sein. Also alles außer einer 2.
A sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought. A massive activity spike in the amygdala copicum, the part cops use to pin murders on people.
Warum sind Sie sich so sicher, dass Ruby ihn nicht umgelegt hat?
Because she was here, all night, with us.
He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101.
She was here all night? 11:30 to 12:15? She was here during all that time?
Yeah, with us, drinking, near the stage there.
Sie ist nicht auf die Toilette gegangen? Sie ist nicht rausgegangen, um frische Luft zu schnappen oder um eine zu rauchen?
No.
Während der kompletten Dreiviertelstunde war sie die ganze Zeit bei Ihnen.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from her lorry. We're not getting into what that operation is again, Cop.
That's probably for the best. Don't break your stride now.
And just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof. You got his attention. Now don't ruin it by making weird claims. Remember, you can still mess this up.
In der Küche befindet sich ein Geheimweg, der direkt aufs Dach führt.
How?
Durch einen Raum, der wie eine stillgelegte Flipperwerkstatt aussieht.
People say there was a pinball arcade here, sometime before the hostel. What was it called, Theo?
East Delta Pinball Arcade. Weird place. Went bankrupt.
Okay, but how'd you get up? There's no room for a staircase in this building. Or an elevator, for that matter.
The elevator is outside the building. It's an old dumbwaiter used for moving pinball machines up and down from the workshop.
Und von dort führt eine Tür direkt aufs Dach. Man kann einfach nach draußen gehen.
Ruby could have gone up, shot him, come down. All under 7 minutes.
That's quite the theory. We need to have a look at that secret passage, boys.
I'm on it, boss. Right when the law clears, me and Angus are going up there.
It's a dumbwaiter, not an industrial lift. How about I go instead of...
Shush now. You got something else to back this route up? Or is that it?
Außerdem habe ich oben in der alten Werkstatt Fußabdrücke gefunden.
Footprints. Recent.
Ja, eine Woche alt oder 2.
That close, huh? How fortunate. I'll take a thorough look at those prints myself before I believe that, Cop. Good news is, I'm still listening.
Okay. Ist Ihnen die Winde da hinten aufgefallen? An der Außenmauer des Whirling?
I've seen the winch. I'm not blind. You saying it's part of the elevator she used to get up there?
Ganz genau.
That's one mystery down then. An architectural mystery. Doesn't much concern Ruby, does it?
Sie stimmen mir doch aber zu, dass der Schuss vom Dach abgefeuert wurde, oder?
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Clausia's window from any of the surrounding buildings. Not from what I know about Martinez. Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots. So no, I don't think it was a sniper. It was close up.
Okay, wir müssten das nochmal... Also hier könnten wir jetzt wahrscheinlich eine 100% Chance sagen, wenn wir die Orte überprüft hätten, was wir aber noch nicht haben. Also besteht da eine Chance von 72%, dass die Kugel vom Dach abgefeuert wurde.
72%. There's a percentage and all. Where'd you get it from? Your guys in the lab?
Nein, das habe ich direkt analysiert. Offenbar bin ich dazu fähig.
No, you can't. I know what you did here on the weekend. People talk. And what they say doesn't sound like a science column. You're a madman.
Those numbers were an ass pull, man.
Yeah, and they don't put hair on the roof either. It's just mambo jumbo. He hasn't got shit.
In der Werkstatt standen Flipperautomaten immer noch funktionstüchtig.
Right. What the fuck does that got to do with Ruby?
Nichts. Ich dachte mir nur, dass wir ein paar davon runtertragen könnten, dann hätten wir hier drin neue Automaten. Was, wenn sie irgendwie mit dem Mord in Verbindung stehen, mit einem Flippermörder? Es war nur eine Feststellung. Machen wir weiter. Ja, es war nur eine Feststellung. Kein Flippermörder.
He makes a gruff gesture for you to continue. He gestures with his beer can, so you haven't won him over yet. That bad boy goes down on the table only when he's completely focused on something else.
Okay, uns fehlt noch was.
Firmly doesn't go well with could've. There's a route to the roof. Me and the boys need to check it out. That's what we established. But a route does not put that bullet in his head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun.
Wir haben unsere kaputte Waffe, die funktionieren könnte.
Just don't contradict yourself. If it doesn't sound like Ruby did it, maybe keep it to yourself.
Du zeigst ihnen das antike Gewehr. Überall im Martinez liegen Waffen wie diese einfach so herum.
That looks antique. A Belle McGrave. It's inoperable. Where'd you get it?
Unter dem Buchladen gibt es einen Keller. Dort war es versteckt. Neben anderen derselben Machart.
20, maybe 30 rifles, Titus. Also broken, but still, there were too many. And there must be other caches too.
God damn it. We need to close that dump down for good.
Okay. I see your point. There are guns lying around. Damn it. I thought we'd found all the old spots. Why was that still there?
We just missed one. Ruby doesn't know this place, boss. Just these cops digging up shit.
Ich habe die Kugel analysiert, die ihn getötet hat. Sie war ummantelt.
So
it had to come from a breech-loading rifle. Military grade. Not even you militia monkeys have those. This goes against your short-range theory. If the murder weapon was military grade, how did Ruby get it?
You don't know. Just be honest. Screw honest. You just showed him a breech-loading gun.
Ich habe ihm gerade den Hinterlader gezeigt, an den hier jedes Kind gelangen kann.
A broken old broomstick is what you showed me. But point taken.
Time to really close the deal. Show them the bullet.
Du hältst die Kugel vor dich. Mit dieser Kugel wurde die Tat verübt. 4,46 mm. Die Belle Margrave hat das gleiche Kaliber.
The blonde man looks at the mushroomed Deathbringer in the evidence bag and says,
Yeah, the bitch is jacketed all right. 4mm too.
Whoa.
Well, goddamn. It's not proof, but it's a possible murder weapon. Close to her. Too damn close. You have been thorough. I'll give you that.
Ich habe nie von einem Beweis gesprochen, dass sie die Mordwaffe hatte. Nur davon, dass wir sie finden müssen. Alles andere macht gerade keinen Sinn.
All right. Keep talking. I'm getting a bit curious about some things myself.
Pete, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Phase 3. Motive. The last component. The big one. Get this and they'll give her to you. Remember, don't piss him off. That never works.
Okay. Es geht nicht darum, warum sie ihn umgebracht hat. Viel wichtiger ist, warum sie die Vertuschungsaktion organisiert hat. Klar, sie hat mir ein paar ziemlich interessante Dinge über Ruby erzählt. Vielleicht stellt sie damit auch ihre Führungsrolle in Frage, Titus. Das sollten wir auf keinen Fall nehmen. Als Classy nach unten gegangen ist, schien Ruby zu wissen, dass etwas nicht in Ordnung war. Ich fange erst mal damit an.
Nah, man. That's just Ruby. She's got shit under control. That's her whole thing.
Plus, man, it's like female intuition, you know. Women talk to women. Which is sort of why we need someone on the team who they talk to.
Oder sie wusste, was passiert war, weil sie ihn umgebracht hat.
Not so useful.
Es geht nicht darum, warum sie ihn umgebracht hat. Viel wichtiger ist, warum sie die Vertuschungsaktion organisiert hat.
And I suppose you have a theory on that.
Sie könnte es einfach gemacht haben, um ihre eigene Tat zu vertuschen, Titus.
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
Really, Shanks? Claudia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Okay, Eugene, nehmen wir mal an, Sie hätten ihn umgebracht.
He scoffs.
Think. You kill him. Get up there. Shoot him. Get down.
Was würde Ihnen besser gefallen? Dass Ihnen mit Ihren Freunden als Teil eines Lynchmobs der Prozess gemacht wird? Oder allein, wegen Mordes?
The man is silent.
If she used us to cover her own shit up, well, that's a serious violation of the Hardy Code, boss.
Which is why she didn't. She would never do that. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town. This is good.
Classy hat mir außerdem ein paar interessante Dinge über Ruby erzählt.
Yeah, like what?
Offenbar hatte sie ein Fable für Classy.
A thing? You mean?
Yeah, but they're both girls.
Girls like girls too, Angus, sometimes. This is one of those times. She liked Glacier.
Ich weiß, ich finde es auch verwirrend, aber das waren ihre Worte. Könnten wir nicht einfach den Truck erwähnen, wo ganz viele halbnackte Frauen hängen? Auf Postern, meine ich. Ach bitte, sie hängt mit einem Haufen Kraftmeier wie Ihnen ab. Das kann doch niemanden überraschen. Das ist super natürlich. Ein Ereignis, das die Realität sprengt. Und wir müssen es einfach akzeptieren. Ganz schön unheimlich. Bestimmt war sie mal auf der Uni, wo ihr das von den Liberalen beigebracht wurde. Ich habe Kim nichts hinzuzufügen. Ich finde es auch verwirrend, aber es waren ihre Worte.
It's not bewildering. It's like, whatever, man. Guys, I'm not the only one who knew. Right?
Knew what? First he says she's murdered him. Now she's a too? It's a lie.
Lesbe wird ausgeblurrt? Warum? Wahrscheinlich sagt er im Englischen irgendeinen Slur dafür. Keine Ahnung.
Come on, Glenn. She likes Monica's titties more than you do. Everyone knows which way the wind blows there.
I did. I knew it. That's why she didn't fuck me at Fatty's birthday party.
She didn't fuck you, 'cause you're 40, and you still live with your mom, Dennis.
Leichtes Gelächter klingt im Raum. Es fühlt sich wie Nervosität an. Klar, sie hat erzählt, dass sie ihr Avancen gemacht hat. Sie hat sie aber abgeblockt.
Ruby then threatened her and told her to end her relationship with the deceased.
This is some sordid shit. It's also the kind of garbage our Miss Aronier puts out to cover her own ass.
Sie hat es uns erzählt, als wir kurz davor waren, sie festzunehmen. Sie hat es uns gerade erzählt. Ruby hat ihr Angst eingejagt, woraufhin sie alles ausgeplaudert hat.
Figures. But that Ruby is queer as cabaret, now that I start thinking about it. So there is some truth to it. And that's okay. Some are queerer than others. You can still be a hardy. But if you bring your own personal shit into our outfit...
And then, boss, use us to cover it up? I mean, that's just fucked up.
If it's true. But it's not. Right?
Titus, Sie müssen doch erkennen, dass es hier einige Ungereimtheiten gibt. Wir müssen mit ihr reden.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods. A very small nod, and a trickle of tobacco spit on his lip. This is the only option he cares for.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about, ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you won't. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However hard I asked. Wanna know why?
Ja, warum?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior, why fleeing is always incriminatory.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
Wann ist sie fortgegangen?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
Wovor hatte sie Angst?
I told you. You.
Vor der BMA?
No, you. As in the cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
And a hole in his heart. That first.
Und der Leere in seinem Herzen. Oh, und vergessen Sie die komische Krawatte nicht. Kein Wunder, dass er Angst hat. Ich bin gekommen, um das Ende des menschlichen Experiments zu verkünden. What? Wahrscheinlich kennt sie mich noch aus meinen Tagen als Sänger. Es tut mir leid. Herrje, warum rennen nur alle bei meinem bloßen Anblick meines Schattens davon? Ich wüsste nicht, warum ich ihr Angst einjagen sollte. Ich bin ein normaler Bulle, dem ganz gewöhnliche Gedanken durch den Kopf gehen. Ich nehme die Krawatte.
How can I forget?
You and I are going to dance in the moonlight under a billion stars.
You know, when I first saw you limp in here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
Was hat Ihnen Ruby sonst noch über mich erzählt?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Ruhe geben?
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having to go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
It's not an actual question. Silence. He nods.
Sonst noch etwas? Irgendwas?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This caught Titus, this caught Pete. But she was too scared.
Scared? You should be too. A strange fear creeps over you. A metallic taste in your mouth. Change the subject. Everard's file on you seemed thin on info. She must know from somewhere else. From Jamrock. Something more.
Das würde ihn nur sauer machen. Er wird nichts über Evra ausplaudern.
Of course, I should have known. Concentrate on tracking down Ruby.
Haben Sie irgendwelche Hinweise darauf, wo Ruby sein könnte?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Yeah, Al, and we won't either.
She's not really a hardy candidate anymore, is she?
She's not, Glenn.
Haben Sie nach ihr gesucht?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlogged. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
Können Sie mir sagen, wo ich an der Küste zuerst suchen sollte?
Sure, there's some shithouses there. A cinder block town. Fisherfolk there refuse to unionize, so that's one place we haven't looked. I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
We will start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a Lowry man.
Haben Sie eine Ahnung, was sie mit ULAN oder wie auch immer Frequenzen macht?
The what now? I have no idea. Boys?
She said she's building a pale emitter.
What?
We were talking about radio equipment. She said she's doing Ulan frequencies and a pale something. I don't know more.
This guy barely understands what he's talking about.
There you have it. Pale something.
It feels like you'll get to know soon enough.
Ich befürchte auch. Das ist nicht besonders viel, aber es wird schon reichen.
It'll have to.
Ich schüttel ihm die Hand.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM Sergeant material.
Ich spreche das nicht laut aus. Auf gar keinen Fall würde er Kopf werden. Wobei, vielleicht findet er es lustig. Sie sollten Polizist werden, Titus.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
Okay, Zeit, diese Klamotte loszuwerden. No. Oder? Ist das die BMA? Ah doch, es ist die BMA-Jacke. Okay, fine. Okay. Frage im Dorf nach Ruby. Karte. Ja. Was auch immer die... Was ist dieser scheiß Weißdornbaum, Alter? Ich kann mal weggehen. Braucht den nicht mehr. Krass, wir haben 3 Skillpunkte. Okay, da können wir gegebenenfalls noch ein bisschen was mitmachen. Alrighty. Soweit, so gut. Joyce next? Oder Joyce als letztes? Ich spreche jetzt mal mit Joyce. Das ist die falsche Richtung für Joyce. Irgendwie habe ich auch das Gefühl, Joyce ist halt überhaupt nicht mehr wichtig. Also irgendwie ist es halt so, ja... Ich wüsste halt... Also wahrscheinlich kommt noch irgendwas dabei raus, aber ich wüsste gerade nicht, was mir Joyce noch erzählen sollte, was mir weiterhelfen würde. Joyce halt für einen Scheiß gebraucht. Außer, dass wir den Anstoß brauchten halt in ihrem Dialog, dass wir dann in den LKW gucken konnten. Oder mit den LKW-Fahrern, die andere Optionen hatten, mit denen zu sprechen. Ach, sieh mal einer an. Bin ins Dorf an der Küste gesegelt. Officer, wir sehen uns dort. Joyce. Steht auf einem Zettel am Pfosten. Okay, also ist sie auch einfach schon drüben. Dann würde ich sagen, können wir hier... Nein, okay. Ich muss vor das Whirling und dann können wir Quick Traveln. Gosh dang. So, erstmal gucken, wo wir Joyce finden. Na, die könnte da am Anleger sein. Sieh mal eine an. Die Bretter ächzen unter deinem Gewicht. Die Leiter führt zu einem im Seetang herumschwimmenden Fischschwarm hinunter.
I'll just keep the Cordeleche in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier.
Hi, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way.
Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty?
Hallo.
Hello, detectives.
Sie befestigt das Ende des Taus am Pfahl und richtet sich auf.
It's good to see you here. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Spionieren Sie uns nach?
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here. Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the Cordeleche red. Like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is. White.
What is this? Destruction of property? Hooliganism? Elder abuse? And who is this scamp, anyway?
Ja. Die Göre könnte natürlich Ruby sein. Red, Ruby und so. Wer ist diese Göre? Soll ich mich darum kümmern?
No need. Lillian and I are getting on much better. For one, she appreciates the concept of rent.
Sie meint Lillian, okay. Also, wie gefällt es Ihnen hier?
How do I like it?
Sie lässt ihren Blick zum Dorf schweifen. Auf den Betonziegeln schmilzt der Schneematsch. Die Bauarbeiten wurden vor 10 Jahren abgebrochen.
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name. All the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there? I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
All right. Politics time. Let's react. Real men, real politics, real thoughts in your head.
Oh Gott. Sie sollten auch Angst haben. Es ist schließlich alles ihre Schuld. Sie sind nicht in Gefahr. Die Arbeiterklasse hat keine Ahnung, was mit ihr geschieht. Haben Sie keine Angst. So sieht nur die richtige Stadt aus. Dieser Ort ist sowieso dem Untergang geweiht. Boah, haben Sie keine Angst. So sieht nur die richtige Stadt aus.
Oh, I'm not frightened, officer. I'd never...
Sie lehnt sich gegen das Gelände und sieht zum grauen Himmel auf.
Above you, there forms a quilt of altocumulus clouds, twisting into each other. The wind tugs and stretches them over the bay. Their cloud shadows slide over the ruins of Revachol West. Wherever they pass, the temperature drops slightly, but perceptibly.
Have I told you how they discovered this place?
Dieses Fischerdorf.
No, the Insulindian Isla.
Das haben Sie mir nicht erzählt, wie sie entdeckt wurde.
Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty.
Ahnungslos, genau wie ich. Oh, ich bin auch zu etwa 45% funktionstüchtig, aber langsam werde ich besser. Ich sag nichts.
It's a pity. Most of these people will never know what this place means, this island of matter, or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
So, erzählen Sie mir es jetzt. Wir haben Zeit. Also, ja, es war schön, Ihnen über den Weg zu laufen. Nein, erzählen Sie mir etwas anderes.
Of course. I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism. How can I help you at this juncture?
Ich habe mit den Lastwagenfahrern im Kreisverkehr gesprochen.
Yes, my eyes on the harbor have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Moment, wo genau befindet sich dieser Beobachtungsposten?
It doesn't really matter, and I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout, most likely. That would give them a read on the entire quarter.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
She's trying to conceal her excitement, but the slight glimmer in her green eyes tells you otherwise. The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
Nachher? Ja, ich sollte die Entscheidung treffen.
Exactly. But what?
Augenblick. Sie scheinen ganz erpicht darauf zu sein, mehr zu erfahren. Warum? Es wird Ermittlungen geben, mehr kann ich nicht sagen. Sie haben uns auf eine sinnlose Suche geschickt, es gibt nichts zu ermitteln. Wir haben hier tatsächlich einige interessante Dinge herausgefunden. Ich habe keinen Bock, hier die Informationen anzuvertrauen, to be fair. Sie scheinen ganz erpicht darauf zu sein, mehr zu erfahren. Warum?
I've kept my eye on the communers. Even tried to get to know one. It's a mystery I'm already invested in. Which one of them, if any, could organize such a complex operation?
Es wird Ermittlungen geben. Mehr kann ich nicht sagen.
Okay. I thank you for sharing that much with me. My employer thanks you as well. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Wie wird es? Ein Blutbad?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Ich habe bereits von einem Zusammenhang zwischen dem Lynchmord und dem Streit gehört, aber ich benötige Ihre Aussage.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Kurzzeitig kein Vertrauen mehr. Was soll das heißen?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Brauchen Sie denn eine Leibwache?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
Ja, ist doch Unfug.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Und dann?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It will be all of them. The decision is already made.
Sie haben hier ein einziges Chaos angerichtet. Ich muss sagen, das ist nicht Disco. Vielleicht können die Ermittlungen ja gemeinsam geführt werden. Sie wissen schon, man könnte Ressourcen und Informationen miteinander teilen. Fuck no. Sie weiß viel weniger als ich. Sie haben hier ein einziges Chaos angerichtet.
It was the Union who strung him from that tree. My hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before Crenell indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
Sie lehnt sich gegen die Holzplanken.
if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
They would have to project strength and power.
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Das kann ich mir nicht vorstellen. Da müsste zuerst zu viel schiefgehen. Finden Sie nicht, dass Sie sich da ein ziemlich trostloses Szenario ausmalen? Ich denke, die Konfrontation ist unvermeidlich. Ich gehe mal mit dem zweiten. Ich weiß nicht so recht, was ich davon halten soll.
Many bleak scenarios have already come true, Lieutenant W. Frater Dubois.
Sie sieht dich mit vom Wind tränenden Augen an.
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Wo sind die 2 verbliebenen Söldner jetzt?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're likely to be armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Revachol.
Okay. Wir halten uns vorerst von ihnen fern.
That's wise. Our goal is to avert catastrophe. Besides, you're likely to encounter them sooner or later.
Wie viel Zeit haben wir?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
Kurze Stille. Möwen krächzen über der Bucht.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Was können Sie mir über Crenell erzählen?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Okay. Wissen Sie noch mehr über die Firma?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Könnten Sie das Unternehmen kontaktieren? Sagen Sie, dass es die Söldner abziehen soll.
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Sie haben gesagt, der Verstorbene habe einen Übergriff an eine Frau begangen?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Wer war denn für das Zutragen zuständig?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
Und was haben diese Jugendlichen am Kanal erzählt?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
This does not come as news to us, but still. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Ich kenne die Frau, von der Sie reden. Wir haben die Sache unter Kontrolle. Wir könnten uns auch unwissend stellen, aber ganz ehrlich, ich habe so das Gefühl, dass dieser ganze Dialog mit Joyce normalerweise früher passieren sollte in der Story. Und dann würde man halt noch so ein paar Hinweise kriegen, die wir jetzt halt alle schon haben. Aber da wir sie schon haben, können wir uns das, glaube ich, auch einfach schenken.
Good. Then you've made progress. It's imperative that you move fast. The tribunal will not be patient.
Dieser Colonel, der gehängt wurde. Kannten Sie ihn?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice. But she had sympathy for this man.
Sie mochten ihn.
Liked is a bit strong. He was the most charismatic among them. He handled all the talking. His departure left a major gap in the group's communication skills.
Hieß...
Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Dieser Lily. Wissen Sie sonst noch etwas über ihn? Was war er für ein Landsmann? Auf welches Alter hätten Sie ihn geschätzt? Interessiert uns das? Ja.
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body, and Glacier also mentioned it, I believe. What else? Nationality? Accent?
Hat er gerade den Namen der... Naja.
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent. Oranese. Or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Must be hard to force your face to move in a new fashion. If you continue like this, you'll have an aneurysm. Then you'll have to...
Ich wüsste gerade gern noch ein bisschen mehr, deswegen muss ich hier noch mal rein.
If you mean did
You don't know how you know.
Liked? Lely. His service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Erzählen Sie mir zuerst von den anderen beiden.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased's?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face. Then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50.
Ja,
This
okay, das
matches
hatten
the
wir.
dental
In a way, it was human.
Must be hard to force your face to move in a new fashion. If you continue like this, you'll have an aneurysm. Then you'll have to...
Das reicht vorerst.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Also, können Sie mir etwas über diese Tätowierung verraten?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
Sie streckt ihren Arm über das Seil an der Reling, nimmt das Foto und hält es dann in der Hand.
For about half a minute, in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman.
It was taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Du schweigst und beobachtest den Gesichtsausdruck der Frau.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
Was meinen Sie dazu?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
Sie zeigt auf einen Punkt auf dem Fotopapier.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Für Sterne am Himmel?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oranese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Welchem Zweck dient so eine Karte?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
Ich habe mit ihm gesprochen. Fürs Erste sitzt die Seele in seinem Leichnam fest.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
Welche Reise hat der Tote unternommen?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oranese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
Was ist das?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor. And these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
In Martinez, looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
Ich habe mit diesem Mann nichts zu schaffen, aber vielleicht ist das seine Einsatzgeschichte.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
Wer könnte mir mehr erzählen?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
You wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay, mehr muss ich zu diesen Tätowierungen nicht wissen. Vielen Dank für Ihre Hilfe.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Vorerst nicht, danke. Okay, cool. Das hat jetzt Aufträge abgeschlossen und uns XP gebracht. Ey, wir haben einfach alles von Montag und Dienstag abgeschlossen. Donnerstag, Frage Klaasje, nach Sonntagnacht haben wir das nicht gemacht. Aber wenn Kim nicht da... Wait, haben wir das nicht gemacht? Ach, egal. Ah, nee, stimmt, haben wir nicht gemacht. Okay, fair point. Gut, dann müssen wir mal nach Ruby fragen. Und mal gucken, ob der Schuss irgendwo von hier aus der Gegend gekommen sein könnte. Kehre mit Kim zur Leiche zurück haben wir total gemacht. Warum ist das nicht abgeschlossen? Halte die Spirituose in der Hand und warte auf das Signal. Ja, mal gucken. Ah, doch, das müssen wir noch machen. Das Tonband für Eierkopf brauchen wir wohl noch. Dann brauchen wir das aus dem Baum doch noch. Und mit dir sprechen, die Sinusse sind nicht synchron. Vermutlich musst du ihm oder seinen Freunden irgendwie aushelfen und beweisen, dass du zur Crew gehörst, wer weiß. Ja, ich weiß nicht, ob mir die noch so viel weiterhelfen. Mal gucken. Wir haben ziemlich viel abgeschlossen. Und jetzt ist meine Maus gerade gestorben, die Batterie. Sie hat perfekt bis zum Ende der Folge durchgehalten. Ein Traum. Gut, dann würde ich mal sagen, vielen Dank fürs Zugucken bis hierher. Angenehmen Tag noch und bis zur nächsten Folge. Macht's gut, haut rein und tschüss.